Hey, it's Alvin from the Ask Alvin Show, and Happy New Year, and we're coming to you live this Friday, the 5th of January 2018. So this is my weekly Q&A session, so if you have any questions related to pharmacy, any questions related to wellness, or anything like that, I will do my best to answer them, and it's my intention to provide immense value for you, the viewers, and the people that like our page, and also our clients and customers in West Brunswick and all over the world, really, where this broadcasts out. So I'll be answering some questions which have come through to us over the past week since I did the last live Q&A. If you want to ask me a question right now, please jump on to Facebook, leave a question in the comments below, and I'll answer it for you as best as I can. And I've got to do my legal stuff now, so remember, any advice that I give here is general advice, so you please always contact your healthcare professional should your symptoms and your medical condition persist. And if I do happen to mention any dosages or anything like that, or any other medications, please make sure that you always use your medications as directed, and read the label, please, and contact your healthcare professional if your symptoms persist, or come in and see us, or give us a call. Our number and details are down the bottom, or leave a question below. Cool, legal stuff done. Got some really great questions that have come up in the past 7 days, so I'll just roll into them. The first one is from Chris. Hey Chris, Happy New Year, buddy. He's asking whether we're going to be stocking cannabis. So yeah, cannabis is making the news in Australia. Quite a lot of companies trying to get their medical grade cannabis registered for use for medicinal purposes. So yes, we're in the process, our pharmacy and our pharmacists are in the process of becoming accredited to be able to supply medical grade cannabis. So it won't be for everybody, and you would have to go through a doctor who has also gone through the accreditation process, so they've got to be like registered to prescribe these cannabis-based products, and you've got to get it dispensed through a pharmacy where they've also registered to dispense cannabis-based products. So all that means is our pharmacists have gone through a little bit of extra training, legal stuff that we've gone through, and continuing education, just to ensure that we can deliver the correct advice for you if you're using it. So Chris, you also asked what they're going to be used for. So medical grade medical grade cannabis is only registered in Australia at this stage to be used for certain medical conditions, and this is to treat some type of epilepsies, to treat multiple sclerosis, or as an adjunct in treating, in addition to multiple sclerosis, nausea and vomiting from chemo and HIV treatment, some forms of pain, and those in palliative care. So it's not just a free-for-all kind of a medication that the doctor can prescribe. There's a lot of hoops and a lot of eligibility criteria before it can be given to you, and before the doctor can sort of prescribe it to you. So it's relatively new, but rest assured that our pharmacists and our team and all of us, and especially in Australia with so much regulation, that we will be on top of it. So Chris, hopefully that answers some of your questions about cannabis in Melbourne and cannabis in what we're doing. So, cool. Excellent. The next question from Domenica, she's asking, what's the best way to treat a head lice now? So, great question. Head lice coming back in full swing in West Brunswick for whatever reason. Can't really pick why there's an outbreak of head lice. It sort of doesn't coincide with any school activity at the moment, but it's going around, and this is some strategies that you can use to tackle it. So the first thing we like to use like a head lice shampoo, something that contains permethrin or something similar like that. So that's a super strong ingredient that's really good at killing the lice and also killing their eggs. Typically with these head lice preparations, you would apply it to your scalp, massage it into the hair, leave it on for 10 minutes. And then you would wash it out afterwards, and then, really important, use a fine metal comb to brush through the hair. And the metal comb part of the treatment process is really important because it just also pierces any eggs that might be lying around on your scalp or in your hair and kills the lice that way. You also want to make sure that you wash the sheets in warm water. You vacuum the couch that you're sitting on if it's a cloth-based couch. If you've got any teddy bears that are cloth-based, you want to wash all that, make sure everything's super clean. Now, some people find that the chemicals in the head lice preparations are a little bit too harsh. Fair enough. And then we also have some people who don't want to use chemical-based products. So you can get some natural-based formulations. There are a couple of those in the pharmacy that we can recommend, which with repeated use can be beneficial and can eliminate the eggs. And sometimes it's a matter of eggs and the lice, and sometimes it's a matter of cycling through them a couple of times. The other thing that is new in technology is you can get these electronic combs which can sort of zap the bugs without using any chemicals. So it's just a electric head lice comb which you can brush the hair with, and that zaps the head lice. So that's some new tech that you can get. And you can also get these vacuums, hair vacuums they're called, which basically just suck the lice off the scalp and off their hair. So lots of things that we can use to help treat head lice, and of course just come in and speak to one of our wellness team members or our pharmacists, and we will be able to determine the right one for you. And if it's certainly becoming persistent and reoccurring, we can talk to you about strategies on how to get rid of it for good. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So Domenica, hopefully that answered your question for the head lice. Treatment's come a long way since just using a chemical-based hair product. Cool. Next question, Gwenda. She's saying 41 degrees in Melbourne tomorrow. Yes, it is Saturday, the 6th of January. What are some strategies that we can use to stay hydrated? So, and she's talking about her elderly parents there. So we find that on super hot days with the elderly and especially children, it's really important to stay hydrated. Dehydration is extremely common in these demographic of the older people and also the younger people, simply because with the heat, it just diminishes all the stores of electrolytes and fluid in our body. And the best way to stay hydrated is to use something like some rehydration salts. So rehydration salts are not just water. So you can just use water. Some people like to use cordial or watered down lemonade and that kind of thing. They are okay, but they're not going to be as good as using rehydration salts. So rehydration salts are a combination of salts. So like the electrolytes, sodium, potassium, which are really important at rehydrating your cells and ensuring cellular function. So making sure that your cells function properly to maintain your energy levels. They also contain glucose and other sugars, not the sugars that you get in chocolate and stuff, but the sugars that go straight to your cells just to keep everything going and preventing dehydration. And you make this up with water, so you get dehydration of the water as well. And I'd be recommending that if you are in contact with the elderly people, please, or your young ones, please make sure that they're staying hydrated with these electrolytes every hour or so. And just really important just to drink 250 mils. You make up whatever the preparation says every hour while it's really hot, and that will ensure that you don't get dehydrated and you feel good, really. Because dehydration can lead to a whole host of other issues as well. So we don't want to go down that road. Gwenda, so tomorrow, yeah, and also what's a really good electrolyte if you want to go naturally is using some coconut water. Has really good electrolytes properties in there, and it has a nice taste. So certainly coconut water, diluted 50% in water, and drinking that every hour should be sweet, and you'll be good. Excellent. Cool. Next question from Fiona. She asks, some medication I've got to take with food and some not with food. What's the deal with that? Yep. So there are some medications where the pharmacist will recommend that you take them with food, and there are some medications that have a direct interaction with food. The direct interaction is some medications, and in particular I'll just go through the most common ones. If you're taking a statin cholesterol lowering medication, you can't have grapefruit within a couple of hours of taking your medication. So grapefruit has the tendency to slow down the breakdown of the statin medication, so you end up accumulating more statin medication in your body, and that causes side effects. So it's recommended that you don't have grapefruit juice. Now, having said that, you need to have quite a lot of grapefruit juice for that to happen. So if you're one that eats a lot of grapefruit, who likes to eat a lot of grapefruit, and you're taking statin medications, please make sure that you separate it. Half a glass or so won't really make much of a difference, but it's just those large doses of grapefruit with that particular medication that will cause, that may lead to some side effects, and you don't want to go down that road. So just do that, separate it, a couple of hours. Some antibiotics, you'll find that we reiterate that you take it with food, and that's because they have a chance to upset the tummy a little bit, the ingredients in there. So you take it with food just to cushion the blow, so to speak, and that just makes it a lot less traumatic on your tummy, and you generally feel a lot better rather than taking it on an empty stomach. Some anti-inflammatories we recommend you take with food. These are some of the stronger ones that you get on prescription. We may recommend that you take them with food, and that's also just to cushion the blow as well. Cool. So, Fiona, hopefully that answered your question. Very short Q&A. I imagine everyone's on holidays this time of the year. But as always, I would love it if you commented. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, and we shall answer them next week. Always appreciate it if you like and share this video. The more that we get this out there to the community, I would really appreciate that. I'm just trying to provide immense value to everyone out there. And if you need to talk to us, please give us a call, comments below, call us. Our number is everywhere. Thank you. Have a great weekend, and I look forward to speaking to you all for the next Q&A. I think number 13, so we'll be doing 13 episodes now next week. Thank you.